Oh, I'm live. Hi, y'all. Hey, everybody. I just am getting home from church. It was a good morning. And yeah, it's supposed to be like 50 today, but it's not. It's pretty cold. So, um, I'm going for another fire, which I like having fires in my house in February. I gotta get the bummer coat off and grab the wood. So bear with me because I'm coming. I just stacked some wood. Not sure if my microphone will pick up all the opening and closing of the doors, or my voice for that matter. Okay. So, yeah. um, Pretty drafty over here because the room had to be open all night because I had fire yesterday. So, whew, um, my youngest kid, if you live in my house, you know that I throw things like shoes and garbage. So my youngest kid, I used to say, "All right," and I would like hike him the whole bag of garbage to take out to gamify and make things. I don't know, just get stuff done. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. So, I am gonna let's see. Ooh. There is a young, sweet-hearted young man who goes to my church who looks like, I'll say it again, Ed Sheeran. One of my now, I don't know. I did do a little bit of research this week about YouTube and if I have music and or material on my screen while I'm live or just creating YouTubes, and fair use I think allows me to, as long as I'm not like, I think it allows me anyway. Ed Sheeran, one of my very favorite, this is just information. Oh, come on. I have to wait for my Wi-Fi to connect, which, oh my gosh, my cable went up $80 this month. It's a lot. All right, so yeah, sorry. I'm rolling my eyes at like this YouTube ad for mattress because, yeah, I mean, cable went up $80. Like, do you think I'm not in the market for a mattress. No, thank you. Okay, so one of my very favorite, it is such a beautiful video. And I am going to put it on. So I don't even know. This young man this morning at church, we have, I love the way that, the church that I go to is pretty down to earth. We really try not to be too stiff, too much, right? Like a whole bunch of people who are just human beings, salt of the earth. Oh, here it is. Anyway, so my girlfriend has two sons, and I saw her older son. I don't know, might be older, young, but one of the boys, and I pulled him aside, whispered to him, "Hey, do you know who Ed Sheeran is?" And he was like, "Yeah, I get this." And I'm like, "No, but have you seen the video?" And so I'm like, "It's a compliment. He's a performer." So this is one of my faves I just got to listen to it again. Sorry. So you get to hear it and I get to watch it. So I'm not sure if I can watch it. So this video is so gorgeous. They're in an empty room. It's so beautiful. Persian. They're on a stage or something. With the empty dance floor. So beautiful. And it's just a love song. And my friend's son looks just like him on that mirror. He doesn't even know who he is. That's what's so sweet. I asked him if he saw the video. He's like, I'm like, look it up on YouTube. So sweet. Just a touch of with you single day. And I just wanna take that gymnastically up. Dirt's in front of you. Since I'm looking, don't see that. Oh, I can see. Please, you have to move it out. You thinking? Then the light in that scene, like in the shape of a Rob to producer on this. Man, I love it when he like plays a guitar and so. Stick. That's what the beautiful thing. I'm just say some of my church going people would be a little crude and say, ooh, but it's really beautiful. Stop. You know, I gotta get some in my. I wonder what's gonna go on next. Mathematic tour. I don't know. It's going to be fun too. So I gotta figure out how to get this baby like this because I don't have a lot of paper and so forth. I don't know. Yeah. I can see. She's so good. She knows she found she's she's during clubhouse day. Like, I mean, it was some part. I was really nice. That circumstances. Thank you. So, music is always tough. She um flag for Moses and possibly I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if the late stream YouTube is picking up on this or if actual people are viewing YouTube videos to ensure United States of America copyright compliance or whatever. I mean, in grad school, I learned about. I did some research about copyrights and spoke to a copyright attorney. Phone on me. I think. Anyway, we had one of the corporations that I worked for. We had a copyright. It was so dumb. Like they would use. They got like anytime they got a patent, somebody else got an accolade. Like people never got a bonus. I mean, the company. Oh gosh, I love. Yeah, the company would of course make bank, and then they'd give a little badge like congratulations, you invented something that we own and we're going to benefit from, and you won't get a bonus, but we'll give you a little patent shiny. Like, how dumb. I think that's a crying shame, by the way, for all you corporate C-suite people. It's nauseating. If somebody comes up and yeah, and uses with a brilliant idea, and you do not bonus them, and then you keep all the profits. Nauseating, nauseating, naughty, bad, poor leadership. That sucks. I love Lauren Daigle. My daughter looks like her in this video. So anyway, yeah. So obviously, if you haven't figured it out, I'm a Christian. And I don't know. I labeled this like that. I would like to have, speak something, hopefully something wise or encouragement. So I just want to encourage people to, I don't know, feed your heart and soul with good stuff, the good stuff. And the good stuff really is, it's godly. It's the good stuff. It's, like there's a wonderful country music song out there. Tells a beautiful story about a person that's at the bar and like the bartender serves up a glass of milk. Like, yeah, right? Like, yeah, that's the good stuff. Had a conversation, the guy was grieving or having problems, and the bartender serving milk. Right on, brother, right on, sister, right there, right on. So it's not poison and pour gasoline on a fire for people that are hurting. And for all you Congress people out there and the POTUS and the to be POTUS, yeah. I mean, can we stop hurting ourselves? Can we stop? Can we stop equipping people? Can we stop hurting ourselves? I am so thankful that in Ohio, and I'm not watching this landscape super closely, but in Ohio, you cannot and do not buy cannabis, particularly recreational cannabis, which is legal now, at the bars. Yeah, no gummies with alcohol. It's like, ugh. So I can't even give a shout out to the beer companies that say drink responsibly. I don't know. It's just. People, I guess people are free to, I just know people that have suffered with addiction, and when an addiction takes over, it doesn't matter if they know better, it's just like, it's like a chain, it like rips people. And I have a dear, sweet-hearted gal friend in my life, in my circles, who she told me, she's like, yeah, when she was struggling with that, alcoholism, addiction, whichever, can't remember, doesn't matter. But she was like, yeah, I just wasn't thinking straight. Everything was twisted. And the brother-in-law, well, he did. He died that is 27th of December. And he was addicted. He was addiction his whole life that I knew. I mean, maybe he was clean when he died. Hadn't spoken to him. Didn't speak to him. Had a lot of confidence that my mother was feuding over. I spoke to him that he would be. That would be the last time I'd see him, speak to him. And it was. No, I saw him. He came to my son's football game, I think. But yeah. I just. I'm telling you, I'm not. Addiction and alcoholism. It just sucks. I mean, not that. I mean, only because resentment doesn't get us anywhere. Resentment is it's like, yeah, it just. If you hear people that have experienced miraculous recovery, they're not living in resentment. They have allowed for themselves to be freed, and I'm not sure that that's very easy. I'm not. In fact, praise a good word. It's like somebody said, oh, but there I go by the grace of God. Somebody whose spouse was dealing with an addiction or alcoholism. And I was like, yeah, like how easy. I even know people that didn't have didn't have struggles, and then their spouse died, and then suddenly, and that person said, like, once you cross the line, you don't go back. You gotta it was alcoholism, and that for that person, I was like, that person believed that once you cross that line, you'd never go back. So, that person cannot drink because alcohol, I think it's considered somewhat of an allergy, as doctors sometimes describe it, to the body. I mean, it's poison. It's poison. It's metabolized differently. Something. But here's the thing: alcoholism, drug addiction, and grief and trauma, those things are like so nebulous. And I created with a nurse that was a zillion times smarter than I, a disability program or a company that was coming out of bankruptcy. And those things are gnarly. Those things are hard. And sometimes people go into rehab and they come out and then they go to jail and they come out and and so and we do not smile upon that or give favor or give grace or appropriately somehow get ourselves around how to treat it or help people. Like, it makes me hurt. Makes me hurt. Makes me hurt. I wish I didn't hurt. Yeah. When I was starting, I started 2 graduate programs. I finished the second one. The first one I didn't finish. The first graduate program that I started was a psychology graduate. I got to keep my eye over there because that screen needs to be closed actually. Yeah. Safety first. But anyway, some insight is like not just her, but like the doctors and the leadership and the organizational structure and like that was a good organization transformed into something. I'm not sure if it's my opinion. I don't know. Like the leadership after the leadership, I straddled the like old versus the new leadership, but yeah, I mean, we created a phenomenal disability program that was genuinely catered, customized, and compliant with every union contract. And I'll be darned, but that like CEO hated me. Like also went after my brother, but he somehow got on the bromance thing with one of the guys that had been there forever. So yeah, that's what happens. Like, so his account was saved, but like there was some rant about me and my brother, which my brother was the GM and cleaning the building and worked hard and fought hard for the account and the client. But man, does it suck when you get burned. But yeah, even legal. I mean, I felt betrayed by legal at that company. Well, whatever. But anyway, the going back to the disability thing, like PTSD, alcoholism, depression, anxiety, those things were just so difficult. And there's a stigma around all of them. They're suicide. There's a stigma around it. There's like, we have not conquered this. Thank you very much. And like, I don't care if you think, COVID was the greatest sociological like experiment ever. We haven't conquered this, the stigma that comes with helping people get on track that are on bad track from a mental wellness standpoint. People that are well emotionally, physically, but emotionally like disabled. Even me, I get very concerned, and although I've had moderate to good success, I think, in the schools working with kiddos that are diagnosed as ED, which is emotionally disturbed. But I am fearful that those diagnoses give people a license to act out, and there has to be tremendously skilled and trained professionals working with them to quell that and really try to direct. I mean, like, for example, I had maybe 5, 6 kids, boys that were, like I had them a couple times in gym and they were just like, oh my gosh, their mouth's gruesome, right? And like we allow gruesome and cursing and nasty language as a cultural thing in the high schools in America. It's disgusting. It's not like clean. It's not. It's just an accepted, like that's just the way kids are today. We give them that. And I think that leash all in itself is too loose. I'm a mom and I'm a Christian. And so I just don't think that you should allow someone's tongue to just like flare and so now we're equipping them with psychology. It's like 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th graders, and then we have kids twisting and suing their parents for abuse when they're disciplining their kids, or we have girls that are completely being twisted and turned around because of like this woke initiative and like this. My son and I dubbed something like alpha B, like, like, no, I'm sorry, ladies, just because you have hormones doesn't mean that doesn't give you license to kill and be a, BIT. Or you guys. Anyway, in the gym with these men, young men, not, I mean, 8th, 7th, 8th graders. So young men, young. Like I just told them I'm the official. And so I walked in their game all the time. I told them I had the whistle, I was the official. If I put them on the wall for talking dirty or playing dirty, then they were off the court. And if they had a problem with that, they were going down to the office. I was really hard on them. Then I had a heckler on the side. Ain't gonna do that. Like I'm like, shut up, lady, shut up. Anyway, the boys respected me to the extent that they played without verbal attacks. They played clean. And even though they played really hard, and I was right in the middle, they were sweating like crazy, and they didn't plow me down. They didn't curse at me. They stayed out of my way, just like an official on the basketball field. Oh, I mean, court, it was beautiful. But that's in a way, I assumed a lot of risk by standing up in the face of, and one of those men was concerned me deeply. Outright evilly spoke about me, accused me of absolute lies, and like was doing everything he could to turn the other boys in that classroom against me. And he was messed up. He was really being twisted, really bad. And I have concern about that kid. I have concern about all those kids because, we have completely moved God out of our schools. We have moved God out of our families. We have moved Christianity into a place of pristine, like prude, pristine, like not salt of the earth. It's sick. It's disgusting. A good Christian is not like snooty or uppity or haughty. No. I live in a very nice community and there are a lot of believers. Some of us curse in church, not despite God, but because we're just in so much pain, or we have to advocate for our family, or we're hurting. And God can handle it all, you guys. Just believe he sees. Just believe he sees. Don't be afraid. There's a lot going on globally. Geopolitics, continental stuff, countries, allegiances, monetary allegiances, America. There's a lot going on. But here's the thing, Americans, we need to take care of the 50. Yeah. And for those of you in states where things are wackadoodle, out of control, nonsense, move. Do you know that in California, they tax you for moving out? What the heck is happening? In other words, you're like chained to be a California resident forever? I don't know. You talk about taxing the dollars, taxing your dollar. Yeah, I mean, like, wow. America has figured out some ways to just tax. I feel like Canada and some of the other countries, like they just outright say we own 70% of the money or 60%. But in America, there is layered tax stuff going on all the time. Your dollar might be taxed 4 or 5 times. But still, we are free. We have freedoms. We have freedoms. We have the freedom to pursue happiness. We can have mosques, dogs, and churches, and forgive me, all of the people that are Hindu. I forget what those are called. Like your dome things. Are those mosques? I don't know what those are. I mean, the premise of America's government is freedom. We got it wrong, people. And for all of you Black Lives Matters people out there, I'm telling you, we got it wrong and we made it right. The North and the South, and that happened years ago. Gotta figure out how to infuse confidence into the hearts and souls of our kids to get them out of poverty and to recognize generational sin. Like people raised in poverty that don't leave their zip code or don't get exposed to anything other than abuse and oppression. This is a problem. And why the Democrats don't talk about this? Because the majority of the poor vote in America is Democratic. Sorry, it is. But the Democrats just want to throw money, and it's not working. It's not working. It's not working. We have to help people be better as people in their hearts and their souls. Yeah. Like, yeah. I can't stand it. And I call it like an ism or an ish. But like if I probably stole it from that movie or that Blackish, right? Like I probably stole it from there. But I can't stand it when I'm in the schools and a kid acts gangish, right? I mean, or like they're sometimes like you feel they're like on fire, something's up. And they will sometimes totally outright lie, or they'll concoct some sort of like, or I mean, maybe it's not even a concoction, but maybe it's the way they're understanding things. But like, and so sometimes I report things to the principals. I'm like, can you just look into something with this kid? Something was up. But I mean, the lying sometimes that goes on and brutal. Sticking to the truth, having virtues and values. Hillsdale College in Michigan. They have a curriculum, and it's a classical education. You got to do better. And if we do have, listen to me right now, if we do have illegal children and aliens in this country, we need to get them into school. If you see a kid that's not in school, put him in school, report him to the police, get him in school. This homeschool thing, yeah. I mean, if you see kids wandering around and they're not getting an education, do something about it. Look out for the youth. In our country, we do educate all. It's not like other countries. My understanding, and if I misquote this, forgive me, all of you in China and India and some of the other countries that I'm thinking of, but not all countries will educate a child or provide education to somebody who's severely disabled. America does. should be able to keep track of the number of children in this country because they should be in school. They should be accounted for in school under the age of 18 in school. Value education. Now, do the kids value it? No, that's not what I said. Do you think Chinese kids value when their moms like ride them? They're considered tiger mamas and make them study for hours and hours and hours, or no, discipline is not fun. It's not discipling. Discipline is not fun. It's like standards. We have so much to offer in America that people are flocking to come to America. They are. And I'm so sorry to say this. I do believe that we have loyalty. I do believe people understand to some level their freedom. I am a substitute teacher in the schools, and I ask everybody to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, even if they're not a citizen. Stand up, be respectful. I have one kid in a very nice school, nice elite school, was like, it's against her religion, so I'm standing with her. I stand up. The Pledge of Allegiance isn't about religion. And I think the chances of that person's father, mother, I think they were not citizens. And so, but I mean, like, my opinion and my experience is people that are from other countries that come in here, they do not like come in and bash democracy and or bash America and or like, if you will, like flip the, like, yeah, I mean, like, no, they recognize it. It's a honor and privilege to be here. Hopefully, right? I mean, we had some problems in September 11th. We did. That doesn't, like, I'm not broad brushing the Muslim faith because of September 11th, or and like currently, right? I'm not broad brushing. But I am concerned about Israel, and I'm concerned about the people there, and I am sensitive to my friends who are talking about Palestinian. I am sensitive to it. And yeah, and I'm an informed person, and I want to continue to learn. But I mean, we can solve these problems with dignity and diplomacy, people. We can. Well, I'm ranting, actually. This is a good song. That's a pretty good fire, I think. I want. You can't always get lyrics, but sometimes I'm sure you can just by putting closed captions. So I'll see if it'll work. Here's my other question. Not that I have anybody live on here with me, but like I do wonder, have you ever been like in an auditorium? I haven't been on an auditorium where I always had the mic in the ear thing because you can't hear what's going on up on the stage or whatever, but I have been in like when two microphones are close to each other, two trans, like a receiver or sweet. Okay, I got it. I don't even know who sings this song, just so you know, but it's just sweet. I'm a sucker for love. I lost my spot. Oh, okay. Now here's the thing. Like, so I call it the rabbit hole. So think out loud, Ed Sheeran, and then like boom, boom, boom. Like it's the stack. It's the stack of videos. I just lost that. I was just trying to turn it on. Let me see if I can. I probably can't find it back. Nope, it's not gonna let me. In case you didn't know. Nice. I could search for it. Well, anyway, I just want to see if I can. We live in Ohio. It is so beautiful. It is so gorgeous outside. Stunning and cold. Stunning and cold. You can see like the sun coming, like blazing through. All right, I'm gonna see right now if I can just get my settings okay on YouTube. I put on something having to do with our house stunning holiday decoration with neutrals and new. If I can get there's, let me just see here if I can fix it. So YouTube. I used to work with a gal. Her name was Laura. I think she might be in Cincy area. She was sharp. She was one of my IT peeps, like colleagues, and I mean, I loved her because I would just be like, "How do you know this?" She goes, "Oh my gosh, so much of it is like trial and error." So, um, I love that. Don't, ladies, don't be afraid to try. Don't be afraid to try. Don't be afraid to try. Oh, you either, guys. Don't be afraid of the technology, innovation, or anything like that. Don't be afraid. I can't stand that like fear factor. Like when I was a kid, there was like these. Well, fear factor was not when I was a kid, but there was like that's incredible, or there were yeah, I think fear factor wasn't when I was a kid. Anyway, like yeah, like face your fears, eat a spider. No thanks. Or I mean like yeah, even on YouTube right now, face your fears and yeah, spider crawling over you. No, I'll just keep my arachnophobia. Thank you very much. Um, I mean, I don't know, like conquering fear of heights. Went up on the Sears Tower, Chicago. I might do the rest of my work today. Ah, all right. I am going to share some meat and potatoes with you if I can. If I can. Um, First though, before I get the meat and potatoes, let me get the broom and the dustpan. Oh Lord, it is maybe I'll. Bad. I also look at all this ashes that I take outside. There's even sparklies in there. From gold sparkle glitter. All right, so I will be back. And like a cloud of ashes outside here. Out of the ashes. Okay, so I have this little guy. Yes, so much dirt. There's so much dirt when you have real wood in the house. Like living on a dirt road in a house. So much we could have cheese, we could have ducked bathing. It's dirty. Our cars never were clean. Oh, speaking of which, I didn't go to the car wash. I don't need that. That's good to put this in there. Now here's a little bit of disappointment for all you German engineers out there. Because I have this vacuum cleaner. And it's a German-made vacuum cleaner, and out of absolute desperation and brokenness, I bought this thing. I mean, somebody sold it to me and I couldn't take it back, return it. It was a local vacuum. I got Kirby. Wait, which one? I can't remember which one comes into your house and won't leave. I think it's Kirby. Maybe it's Hoover. I don't know which one. Anyway, I got like used. Well, anyway, so I got this Riccar vacuum cleaner, and here's the thing: like it sucks good right here, like on here. And here's the thing: like I'm at least dangerous and smart enough to, whoops. At least I thought I was, to make sure, like, okay, I can see through there, so there's nothing in there. Maybe there is a clog in this hose, but you can kind of feel, right? Like you can kind of feel. And oh my gosh, I get more and more ads pushed towards me with like, I'm pretty sure that was John Legend, the advertisement, or like State Farm. They got like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like if you were paying attention to the Super Bowl commercials. Maybe not. All right, so I'd love to know how they calculate those things, man. I honestly think that Hollywood math is like dividends or like derivatives. I think it's derivative. I think it's like derivative. I often wonder if, like we say, Taylor Swift is a billionaire. I mean, is she, I mean, like, does that, what is that? Does she really have that much money? Is Oprah really? Or is this like somehow an influencer thing? No offense to all you, although there's quiet billionaires out there that can just lever and. But the ladies, well, actually, there's a lot. I actually looked up all the billionaire ladies. But I'm on my phone right now. I'm not going to do that right now. It's not. But the point is, capitalism. We say that money talks, yes walks, or whatever. But in America, we have faith, and I really want to see us continue to keep that the bedrock, or like somehow bring it back down to the bedrock. Like if we have, yeah, we have whole neighborhoods in areas where like people need Jesus and they need stability. And that's true in Chicago. That's where my daughter is. That's true in DC. Oh my gosh. One time I was in DC and somebody was following me, and one of the shop owners saw like that I know the shop owner saw something was off, like saw my nervousness, worry. Totally, I called that shop owner the angel, but totally diverted that homeless or troubled person who was following me. I had to get back to my hotel, but I went for an early morning walk, and yeah, I mean, sometimes you see things happen, you go, whoa, thank you. Thank you. I hear, and I have not, I went to California once, like right, I guess it was LA because it was near Tijuana. I think it was the first time I ever went to a ladies golf pro. I don't think it's the first time I ever went to a golf thing. And actually, there was a picture of me. There's a photograph of me pushing a little gal with a halo on her head and in a wheelchair. My girlfriend family, she had a brother. It was who's adopted, had a brother disability, but I think it was her. I don't know if it was an aunt or uncle. Anyway, we went out there went to California with. I went to California with a bunch of girls that were just way above my pay grade, if you will. Like, I was new in town, and so I think that novelty like afforded me a little bit of. Well, I mean, nice people. Actually, we moved into a really, really big large school district, but nice people, farming community, but still very good school district. Whew. But J-Lo, Dunkin' Donuts, that guy, I forget his guy. I know he's cute. I can't, but I forget his name. I, okay, I can skip it. Toyota. Ooh, I wonder if that's a hybrid or not. Man, come on, skip it. Damn, $469 a month. Who can afford that? My God. All right, so I was gonna give you meat and potatoes, and just so you know, that's all that means is like, I was gonna tell you about my experience in church this morning. And so I went to, and we had pastors from the youth teaching today. So our lead pastor didn't teach, our high school pastor taught. I always like it when our high school pastor teaches because I like the perspective he brings. He seems to be able to hang. And what I mean is, seems to be able to speak well to the adults and the youth, which I love. And then we have like another pastor who is I think it's called emotional discipleship or something like that. But anyway, it's speaking to a very important topic that anybody who pays any attention to leadership knows about, and it's called EQ, which is emotional quotient. And so emotional quotient is being able to be astute in your leadership. Okay, so I'll use this example. So and I'll just, sorry, Germans, like I'll just leave this for now, but it sucks when your vacuum cleaner just doesn't suck right. And so what I was getting at is like the hose sucks, but when I do this, it doesn't suck. Well, it's so anyways, but the point is the example that I'm going to use, and sorry if you don't know who NCIS, like what NCIS is it's an amazing show that I love. Multiple mini seasons, and Gibbs he's like the leader. Well, I mean, he really is. He is the center. It's front. So, but he struggles with just flashback memories of he's a sniper, and in the series, sorry, this is going to be a spoiler alert, but I mean, he struggled with the flashbacks of I don't think of a word that is sophisticated enough to describe what I'm thinking, but like I guess justice, right? He was able to sort of Mexican drug cartel, the person who was at fault for the death of his wife and daughter, he got justice, but he's always dealing with this flashback memory of his wife, his daughter, that instance. It didn't necessarily make him feel better. And so justice doesn't always matter, right? I mean, so in the NCIS realm, Gibbs sort of takes on a paternalistic role too, especially Ziva. She's not the first female character in that series. Kate was the first one, I believe, and then Tony, who he's a bit of he's sharp and a screwball, like just a movie buff, and speaks always to movies. I actually relate to him sometimes because I think like that. And then, oh my gosh, I love this guy. And then the character of Tony calls him Proby, but Tim, he's the geek. He is the genius, and I love him because like him and Gibbs, I think they are just incredible together. But so is Eva. I mean, like the whole like dynamic there. But anyway, so my point is that emotional quotient that Leroy Gibbs, whoever the writers are for NCIS, I congratulate you because well, it just lost its flavor for me, and the air underneath the wings beneath the wings. Just yeah, when you guys changed characters from like Abby, she's genius. Loving goth. I think she's church going and anyway, but slept in a coffin, like just such quirk, but brilliant. And so anyway, so many times I could relate to their character are so relatable, so intelligent, and Gibbs is not technical at all. Or so it seems, because in his mind, he really is the ninja, right? I mean, he isn't. In the show, he's a ninja, I should say, but not in his mind. He is humble. I would say humble and kind, but not like gushy at all. Strong and steady, and sort of like unstable at the same time. In that he sometimes really did struggle, and sometimes made mistakes and put people on his team in danger. But the team and the whole show sort of there's this juxtaposition because of his pensiveness and because of his incredible stoicness. Things work out. It's like, and so Tony is the one that's like, if Gibbs, if it's I forget what it's called. He'd be like, but if Gibbs has a hunch, like he was just, I'm not even sure if there were, I'd have to go back, but I'm not sure if there are any episodes where his hunch or where he miscalculated, where he's off. But if he did, they made a mess, and it's a good show. I was gonna say they cleaned it up, but no, I mean, like it's actually quite good. Just like the Bible can be so rich because it's not prudish. It's not goody two shoes. It's not all like daisies and violas, and it's not. It's about. I mean, there's such like. I mean, there's like cannibalism in the Bible. There is such. Right now, we are talking about Habakkuk. We're studying one of the minor prophets, and like the Babylonian people were so evil, and God's just like letting them take over in this story of the Old Testament. It's just incredible. So, uh, life is so full of paradox that I don't know if a paradox it's like typically two seemingly contradictory things, or if it is just like the multitude of things many times aren't what they seem. Paradox, though. I love, I guess, a good story though, and a compelling story, and some people like to land on the bad side, but most people I think like to see, a victor. So such drama, there's victims, and a lot of bloodshed, heartache, and death many times, or nasty injustice, is but I mean, America has, I would say too, like, because I worked in a company that was headquartered outside DC, like I kind of call that the teeter totter. We've got DC and we've got Hollywood. then there's like other cities in the lower 48, but like, yeah, I mean, um, but America is a unique country. It is, and we are in election year, and we need to just pray for the voters. Oh, dear God, pray for the voters, pray for the candidates, pray for the leaders, pray for all of the unknowns. I cannot, it's so hard for me because I don't trust them. So even if I have gone and listened to politicians, but like they keep it so superficial. I can't, it's very hard. Even I spoke with a judge who turns out she's very much aligned with who I am and my politics. And she turned me off. And there was something that just didn't ring, like as there was some mistrust. I don't know how to put it, but yeah, we have to be wary of incumbencies. We have to be mindful of candidates, and it's tough because it's very hard to trust the information that's coming out of the media or sometimes volumes. If you write volumes, then you somehow get credibility too. But yeah, it's an important year. I feel like it's an important year in America, and so I feel like from an economic standpoint, there's a lot going on. If former President Trump, not current, former, but maybe soon to be once again told us, watches this, I think that, we don't want to be embarrassed as a country, right? Like, I mean, like, I know plenty of Democrats that are from the East that are just like so blunt and just like you that it's a turn off. And so I hope that, yeah, I just hope, I hope that we can like clean up the politics a bit. God. Yeah. So anyways, but, oh yeah, meat, potatoes. Maybe that was a whole bunch of potatoes, starch. All right. So yeah, so I this whole YouTube thing's kind of quirky, funny because like you're supposed to like title it. I don't know if I'm just going on here stream of consciousness. I have probably for like anybody. And then or if I actually have a scripted, here's my phone, a scripted agenda, so to speak, or framework. I mean, who am I? Right? I'm just a lady. I'm just a farmer's daughter, right? All right, so born in Jersey. I like to tell. I was born in Jersey. I was in Pennsylvania for a hot second. I grew up in Minnesota. I landed in Ohio. I didn't plan on staying, and I'm still here. And I suddenly raised 3 kids, and I've had a lot happen. Right, my husband died by suicide in 18. That sucked. Still does. There's still repercussions. Hard. I cry still. Ugh. I just. All right. So anyway, okay. So all right. There's a little bit of a framework here. So. I've already seen this. That would. I'm just going back to Ed Sheeran. Sorry. We'll see if we get Len back on that country music song that I like. But I could listen to this again. I can watch this. I can watch this video again and again. It's so beautiful. I wish I could dance like that. I definitely don't look like that. I don't have the hourglass dance figure grace finesse performer kind of thing. Okay. All right. So here's a question for you. Care if you're young or old, okay? If you're in your teens, you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, or beyond, like my grandmother. What may be insightful all of you non-believers out there, but consider a higher power or consider God for you, those of you that are believers in God, for those of you who are Christian like me, like what imitation may God the Father be offering to you out of your failures and the pain of your past? So it's like about rising, I guess, from the ashes and learning from your past. So that's something to consider. Um, Here's another question. I'll share this for my biblical, for any scholars that are interested. The biblical reference is Hebrews 11:24 through 27. I don't think Hebrews is the new one. Hebrews is so Jewish to me, so I don't know. But yeah, for all you rabbis out there, right? Okay, and then let's see. Hebrews 11:24 through 27. Okay, and then another questions. Self are you struggling with that Jesus, I'm sorry guys, I'm coming from a Judeo-Christian, a Christian standpoint, so deal with my lens, okay? Christ wants you to die. Oh, wait, what false self are you struggling with that Christ wants you to die or kill, I guess? Die to, or allow to die, right? So that you can truly live. Oh, damn web. Ooh, that could be. That title could get to me. I don't know if that's a girl Spider Woman or if it is a girl IT chick. Brainy woman. I'll unmute it just because Madame Web. Spider Woman. We like superheroes, by the way. My last name is Thor. Here we go. Here's Girl on Fire. Yeah, I mean, like I did not get this one iota. But like my last name is Thor, and so like that just like screams superhero because of the Avengers. Like during Clubhouse, I mean during the pandemic, I was on the phone, I was in the app with on Clubhouse, and there's so many Thor or Avenger, like Marvel kind of geeks, if you will. And I was like so disappointed. They wrote in a lady and then they killed her in the same, like I was like, dude, here's what I tell the kids in school. I'm like, yes, my name is really Miss Thor. Do not ask me if I married him. And then I say, raise your hand if you know Star Wars. And then, really some people do. Then I say, I am his mother. So that will make some of you smile if you're a Star Wars, not a Trekkie, but a geek. But we like that heroiness, right? Like Amelia Earhart. That's what I like. All right, question for you to consider. Are you ready? Oh, sorry. Your reference of Mark 3:31 through 35. Okay. We'll take some time. And then finally, how long have I been live? Oh, okay. Um, it's hard to stay, isn't it? Thank you for staying if you're with me. Next question to consider. What would it look like for you to surrender pain of the past and mistakes, any setbacks, sins, any disappointments? What would that look like? Okay. Here's another one. Oh, consider Genesis 50 and verses 15 through 21. All right, let's take it. After my husband died, I really vowed and wanted to give my kids time and space. We were like all like I just said that it was like I described like our hearts were like so to be bird inside them out. That's like um I don't know. That's how I describe it. And so like there's some really beautiful songs in the Christian space about redemption, healing of the heart. Like there's like you guys mercy. Somebody had like black paint or sin a stain on people and then like it just like comes off, right? Like it's about redemption and stuff. But I think my youngest son is the reason my husband got baptized. And he stood up for Christ and he was like, after I got baptized, he decided he wanted to get baptized. He was asking good questions, even though I felt like the Sunday school teachers were too stiff. Which I don't know. His dad was very funny. So I had way too high standards as far as I can remember my older son's girlfriend thinking our family was so hilarious when we would just like like the banter, right? I'm pretty sure I flipped my lid and was like, who needs Ozzy Osbourne when we have this? And she just thought that was so hilarious because Ozzy Osbourne is like the MTV was like the or like the God forbid Kardashians, right? So let's see here. Still healing. Okay, here we go. Anything that elevates the Lord. I just thank you. All of the Christian, like not just Christian, but yes, Christian, but also the country music, like when you elevate God in the music, or even, yeah. I mean, yeah. Thank you. There is something bigger than us human beings going on, like for you atheist people, and you think you are in it. Atheism is just crazy to me. Like agnostic, I get. I was very agnostic. What space in the world for you waiting for to fill? And so this is kind of a vacuum question for them. Or puzzle piece. Like, how do you answer such a maybe that's more rhetorical than that. Ooh, headache has moved to my chest. It's like physical pain that moves through the body sometimes. Oh, Williams. I always want to say Will Ferrell. Ferrell Williams. This happy song. Okay. So the scripture attached to that one, along with time and space. Let's call it silence and stillness. Maybe 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes of stillness in the day. And when I'm in a classroom, I just turn the lights off and I just make everybody be quiet. And I think teachers that do that, they allow for like the time and space of learning to occur. I did have some moderate success. I'm sad. I mean, like my smartest kid, I had to remove him. Right. I don't know. I want to say like he was ahead of people in the reading space and good at math and forward, but like he was just pouting. He was just not. He needed leadership training. So I sent him next door, second grade. It's really tough, you guys. It's really tough, this full spectrum, stuff like teaching. And I don't know that teachers always recognize intelligence and maximize and push like the gifted onward and upward, or uh, pay attention to the so let's call the gifted like this side of the bell curve, and then like the non-gifted, maybe the stragglers, maybe the less intelligent, maybe truly the disabled, maybe developmentally delayed or what have you. But like many times a classroom is like the bell curve, and like in the middle, and if you have a lot of lower level learning students, it's super hard to encourage them to go on. Like there's this magnetization towards the center, or even the lower end, and that's so hard. And I do not know how teachers do that. I don't know how, like, please somebody tell me. I recognize that dynamic going on a lot in the schools, and it's causing whole classes to lose interest in academics. Particularly in our most diverse and impoverished, or most diverse, or like diverse. I'm trying to think more like sometimes in the schools district that I'm in, the kids are bussed in from other regions, other neighborhoods. So that's such a challenge. Man, you have to be gifted to be strong as a teacher. You have to be gifted to be strong as a teacher. Oh, I used to have these conversations with my husband all the time. I think he checked in and checked out, honestly, but we talked about like, because I was doing HR, and of course I was dealing with my own bell curve, sometimes board of directors, sometimes C-suite, sometimes leadership, directors, managers, supervisors, and sometimes, the people that aren't people reporting to them necessarily, plus like all the vendors and stuff, finance and procurement and sales and production and all of it. All right, so did I say this? That's 9, 1 through 6, 15, 16. That's the puzzle piece or the vacuum question. Can you see where you're supposed to be moving towards? Can you see where there's a purpose-driven life guy? That's the name of this book. How do you know? Okay, and then time and space. Lost my mind, guys. Uh-oh. I lost my mind. Seriously, like what in my life, like how boring, how some of you might say how suddenly, but like I do not, I do not have a life, a very big or exciting life. I do have a life, but like, yeah, trying to figure out that question, I don't even know how to answer it. Do I just like say, well, come on, I'll just go be in Africa, I'll be I will, or do I say, no, I want to go to Australia? Those are the two places that I noticed. I don't know, like on the map the other day, with some strange. I don't even know why I noticed it. Oops. Or am I supposed to host African people in my house and or Australian people? I always wanted to go to Australia and Africa both. And China even. My grandfather, I know, it's his fault. The guy, the one, yeah, Thomas Pershing, probably who taught me to play chess. Not saying that I'm really astute at chess, I'm just saying he taught me to play it. So all of you chess like nerds out there, it's like it's taught me chess. Let's see. Lord have mercy. All right, so can I get this fire going again? Probably, maybe. I've got some good hot coals down at the bottom. Ugh. Unless I can get some twigs to catch, the answer is going to be, well, it's already present. That's what kindling is for. Kindling. Smoke is a good thing. Americans. Switch signal. Alright, so in Swahili, I had two amazing female professors in my college life. I don't even know if their names are on mine. I don't think they are. I think I'd have to go back and look in archives to find out what their names were, because I don't think their names go on. I don't think the professors' names go on. It's too bad, right? Like on the official transcripts. It's too bad because actually, like I think I had this guy twice or three times. He gave me a D- 3 times. At some point, just as mean. Like I kept going to him for help. He told me I had a learning disability and I should find a math lab. And there was no math lab. What a jerk. Oh gosh. He actually did get in the way of my engineering career. Maybe I wouldn't seem so the way I am. I've had more engineering structure in my life. My grandfather, I just mentioned, was in my uncle, Kodak engineer. On the other side of the family, innovators, Alexander Graham Bell, entrepreneurs, Christian, hard reference. I'll have to check that out. And there's I'll tell you this other story. So there's this dad who was a soccer dad, and he was kind of like more of a wise guy than anything else. And he was an engineer, and he thought he was all that. Plus, like honestly, he thought he was all that. And so, it's like, oh, there's Ed again. Having my country music song was on. And and I asked him how to fix something, and he was like, "Throw it away." I mean, he was like, "Throw it away and buy a new one." And I was like, "Are you really an engineer?" That's what I said to him. I was like, and I remember like I was, oh, look. Um, so I have a couple, and there was another couple on that soccer field who both of them doctors, right? She's doctor of pharmacy, he's doctor of medical professional, brilliant people. I have been very fortunate to be around brilliant people, just such smart intelligence. Yeah. And I remember like that guy looked down on me because I was talking to his friend who was a doctor who, and he acted like I was like coming on to him. It was so disgusting. And I remember the physician just saying, just don't worry about it. I was so thankful. Couldn't believe that. Hate that. All right, so see Kinley works. All right, so I hope YouTube never gets rid of that option to skip ads. Sorry. Advertisements seem to be wagging. They're like the tail that wags the dog. Here we are. We're on track. And okay. So, and we are really pushing it. Like, if you have hung with me, God bless you, good and well, man and woman. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I've been screaming for 1 hour and a half. Okay. Are you ready? One more question. Question. How may the words from, oh, I can feel the draft. Ooh, that fire is just sucking the air. Rui, I don't even have my fan on. Question to consider, how might the words from Exodus, the Lord will fight for you? Okay, yeah. How, how might the words, the Lord will fight for you, you need only to be still and move on to fly. Whoa, I mean, these questions are just incredible. All right, so I hope that that gives you something to think about and reflect on, and I hope that you feel there's some value and some encouragement in this live stream that I'm ending. Um, that is a nice photo though. It's good. I don't even know how to end. Then maybe I'll just sit and think about it like that's it. I think this is it. I think this is the sauce. So I thought maybe it was. Sort of suspect that this is a clump together like anus. I feel like I have. It's kind of that one. YouTube's cool because it's almost like now I call it a rabbit hole, but like it's really just assess the line of videos, so to speak. Listen, if you are experiencing loss, before I left for church this morning, found out that a dear, sweet person in our community, um, who was very kind to me before my husband died, and then to my husband, and then after my husband died, his brother died, and so grief is definitely part of life, but I have not done it beautifully or well. It's been very painful. So, but if you are grieving at all and you think you're going crazy, let's be patient with yourself. You're not. It can be very emotional. And so I guess what I'm gonna say is yeah, be patient if you are truly experiencing grief and lost somebody recently, or you're struggling with the loss of somebody, and you feel like there's injustice or just the pain. I can remember when my grandmother died, Martha Elizabeth, and I made a greeting card line in her name. Thank you. And Elizabeth, my sister-in-law, line. And then I let go of that in 2023, and that was there was a lot to let go of that and a bunch of other things. But all right, well, so if you're grieving, I just there are people like do talk about it, do seek out people. I'm gonna share, this isn't a plug necessarily, but I'm gonna share with you that there is a program that I've gone through and is Christian based, but it's called Grief Share. And this last what do you call it time that I sort of came into the leadership is they're medical professionals, and so it's very nice to have that clinician vantage point. We have a pastor who's very in tune with and aligned, and yeah, so please seek out help for kids. It is said that kids, I don't know if I fully agree with this, but like that kids sometimes have more episodic grief. And so in America, at least in my region, there's this program called Good Grief and pushes into the schools. So if you have a child who lost a parent, a brother, sister, grandmother, and is taking it really hard, talk to your school because good grief is probably an option. And then but if you yourself are struggling, I know some of you, I know, oh my gosh, I have friends that have just turned their grief into tremendous like leverage in that. Like there's foundations that are built. Yeah, but there's help. And yeah, I mean, my heart goes out to you. I wish I didn't understand grief as much as I do, but yeah, I mean, do studies like that, I guess, too. So yeah. All right. Thanks. Thanks for joining me. Bye. 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 Bye.